My parents read my secret diary when I was 9 and then punished me for what I felt. When I was little, I wrote in my diary every day. Drawings, silly stories, normal kid stuff. Then, when I turned 9, a family friend gave me the most beautiful diary I'd ever seen. It had a tiny silver lock and 2 keys. For the first time in my life, I thought, wow, I can finally have private thoughts. But the second she left, my parents demanded one of the keys. I said, no, it's my diary. They smiled and dropped it. A few days later, one of the keys mysteriously disappeared. When I asked about it, they exploded, accused me of lying, said I was careless. I searched everywhere. The key never showed up, but I kept writing anyway. My honest thoughts, even when I was mad at them. And every night, I locked the diary carefully. One afternoon, I came home, and my diary was sitting wide open on my desk. My stomach dropped. Every page I'd written was covered in red ink. My mom had corrected my grammar like a school assignment, and in the margins, she wrote long paragraphs explaining why my feelings were wrong. Before I could even breathe, they called me into the living room. That night, my dad beat me. They said I'd left the diary open, so reading it was their right. They said they were disappointed in me for thinking bad things, even in private. I promised I'd never do it again. That was my first mistake. Then they made a rule. I had to keep writing every single day. But now, I had to hand my diary to my mom each night so she could check my grammar. They threw the lock and keys away. They said hiding things from people who love you is dishonest. That's when writing stopped being safe. I started destroying anything I wrote, terrified my mom would find it. Eventually, I stopped writing altogether. Years later, I tried again. A simple diary, nothing dramatic. One afternoon, I walked into my room, and my mom was standing there, flipping through it. When I asked her to put it down, she screamed, "Don't treat me like a stranger." So I switched to my laptop. But they walked into my room without knocking, reading over my shoulder, and calling each other in to laugh when they found something funny. I quit writing completely. 10 years passed. Last week, I opened our junk drawer and found a tiny silver key, the diary key, the one they swore they never took. When I asked why they lied, they got angry and said they must have just found it recently, but that wasn't true. And suddenly everything made sense. They never wanted a daughter with feelings. They wanted a daughter who never needed privacy, never questioned them, never said, "This hurts." And the worst part, for years, I believed them.